All right, cool. We're going to talk about exponential equations. Our exponential equations are y equals a times b to the x. So a is the initial value, it's where we started, and b is what we're multiplying by, okay? So exponential growth functions, the growth factor is greater than 1. So the thing we're multiplying by is greater than 1. It could be 1.1, it's still growth, okay? If a is greater than 1 and b is greater than 1, then the function represents exponential growth. Why do they both have to be greater than 1? Because if you multiply anything by something less than 1, it's going to get smaller instead of bigger. Exponential decay function. If the growth factor is between 0 and 1, so if a is greater than 0 and b is between 0 and 1, it's going to be exponential decay. It's going to get smaller, okay? An asymptote is a line which the graph gets close to but never touches. Here's an example of one. We are not going to do functions like this. Ours are just going to look like the one side of it. But notice that there's a line that doesn't cross. There's a vertical one and a horizontal one. We are only going to have a horizontal asymptote in our exponential functions. So it is going to be the line that it doesn't cross, and it will be y equals something, okay? All right. So here we have graph y equals 2 to the x. So we need to pick some x values, we need to figure out the y values, and we need to talk about what's going on. So I'm going to start with -2, then -1, 0, 1, 2, and 3. Those are the numbers I like to use. Sometimes they give us really wonky answers and we have to shift a little bit, but that's okay. So 2 to the -2 is going to give us 0.25. Decimals are totally fine on this type of graph. 2 to the -1 is going to be 0.5. 2 to the 0 is going to be 1. 2 to the 1 is 2. 2 squared is 4. 2 to the third is 8. So now I'm going to graph those. So at -2, it was 0.25. I'm going to zoom way in here. At -2, it was 0.25, so it was way down here. At -1, it was a half, so it's a little bit higher, okay? At 0, it was 1. At 1, it was 2. At 2, it was 4. At 3, it was 8. And then we draw our curve. Notice that I flattened out the curve. You are never going to get a negative value raising 2 to a power. It's never going to cross 0. So this is growth because it goes up. The domain is all real numbers. The range is y is greater than 0. The y-intercept is 1, and the asymptote is y equals 0. I want you to notice something. Your range and your asymptote will always match. They will be the same number, okay? So now we have 2 times 1/4 to the x. So our starting point was 2, okay? And we're going to grow by 1/4 at a time. That seems weird. Growing by 1/4? What's going to happen? It's going to get smaller. So this is going to be decay. Oops, I forgot to change back from my highlighter, but that's okay. So -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. We may or may not get wonky numbers. Let's see. So we've got 2 times 1/4 to the -2. And that gives us 32. That's a gigantic number. It's not even on my graph, but I'm not going to stress out because exponentials change values very quickly. Let's do the next one. 2 times 1/4 to the -1. Whoops. That gives us 8. Oh, good. That one's on the graph. See how quickly we came down to the graph? No worries. Okay. 2 times 1/4 to the 0 is going to give us 2. Oh, that's going to be my y-intercept, 0, 2. Okay, that number right there, not the number with the exponent on it, but the number in front of that is always going to be our y-intercept. Okay, and then 1, 2 times 1/4 to the 1 is 1/2. Okay, 2 times 1/4 to the 2 is going to be 1/8. 2 times 1/4 to the 3rd is 1/32. So we went from pretty big, 32, to pretty small, 1/32. Okay, let's see if we can graph these. At -2, it was off the graph. At -1, it was 8. It crossed the axis at 2. At 1, it was 1/2. At 2, it was 1/8. At 3, it was 1/32. So it's going to get really, really close to 0. Okay, so my domain is going to be all real numbers. My range is going to be y is greater than 0, which means my asymptote is y equals 0, because remember, range and asymptote go together. All right, how about this one? Y equals 3 times 2 to the x. Our previous one was 2 times 1/4 to the x. This is 3 times 2 to the x. All right, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens. 3 times 2 to the -2 is 0.75. Sometimes it'll give you decimals, sometimes it'll give you fractions. It's totally fine. 3 times 2 to the -1 is 1.5. Okay, those are doable numbers, right? 3 times 2 to the 0 is 3. 3 times 2 to the 1 is 6. 3 times 2 squared is 12. And 3 times 2 to the 3rd is 24. Okay, so we went off the graph again, but that's okay. All right, -2 is going to be 0.75. So that's going to be roughly there. -1 is going to be 1.5, so that's halfway between 1 and 2. 0 is 3. There's our y-intercept. 1 is 6. 2 is 12. That's off my graph. I don't have to draw that. And I'm going to put my curve in here. Once again, this one is growth. The domain is all real numbers. The range is y is greater than 0 again, which means our asymptote is y equals 0 again. My y-intercept is going to be 3 this time. Notice it was that number again. All right, I'm going to do -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and let's see what happens. Y equals 1/3 times 2 to the x. Okay, this gives me 0.083, and the 3 repeats. That's a tiny, tiny number. However, 1/3 times 2 to the -1, 1/3 times 2 to the -1 gives us 0.16, and the 6 repeats. And 1/3 times 2 to the 0 gives us 0.3 repeating. And 1/3 times 2 to the first power gives us 0.6 repeating. So it is getting bigger. Okay. 1/3 times 2 to the second is 1.3 repeating. And 1/3 times 2 to the third is 2.6 repeating. It kind of jumped there, didn't it? The next one's actually bigger than 5 if we were going to do that one. So -2 is way down here, close to 0. You can hardly even see it. And then 1 is also way down there. So that's probably not super accurate because I can't zoom in quite that far. 0 is 1/3. Okay, so it's just a little bit higher. 1 is 0.6, so we're up a little bit higher. That's 2/3. 2 is 1.3, so we've jumped up above 1. Okay, and then 3 is 2.6. So that's all the way up here. So you can see it's getting taller, but it's a little bit less steep than the last couple. So that is growth. The domain is all real numbers. The range is y is greater than 0. The y-intercept is 1/3, or 0.3 repeating. And the asymptote is y equals 0. Okay. The only time your asymptote will not be 0 is if there is something added or subtracted at the end of the equation. So now I have a table of values and I need to write the equation. Remember that we're looking for something in the format y equals a times b to the x. That's what we're looking for. And remember, a is its y-intercept. So that's going to be y equals 0.04 times, so we're going to use parentheses for the times. What goes inside there? Well, I need to figure out what am I multiplying by each time. And it's going to be multiplied by the same thing. So I'm going to jump further down. I'm not going to look at this very first one. I'm going to look further down. I'm clearly multiplying by 5. If you have a number where you can't tell what you're multiplying by, then you need to actually take a y value and divide by the y value above it. But it's clearly times 5 each time. Whoops. So that's what goes inside here, and then x is the exponent. So on the next one, there's my starting point, y equals 64 times, they're getting smaller. That means we're going to multiply by a fraction. All right, so what's 48 divided by 64? 0.75. So you can either say times 0.75 or you can say times 3/4. Those are equivalent. So I'm going to do 0.75 because that's not, an easy number to deal with. It's not a super long decimal. All right, here we have a word problem. A petri dish starts off with 10 bacteria. So at 0 hours, it's 10. It doubles every hour. So that goes from 10 to 20, from 20 to 40, from 40 to 80, from 80 to 160, from 160 to 320. So it doubles every hour. Our equation is going to be y equals, what was our starting point? 10. What are we multiplying by? 2. And our exponent is the x. If they continue to increase, determine the total after 12 hours. So we're going to do 10 times 2 to the 12th. So 10 times 2 to the 12th is going to give me 40,960. Population of a city. I have a filled out form. This is our starting point. So it's y equals 160,500 times, well, what's happening here? 121,980 divided by 160,500, 0.76 to the x. Okay, so after 10 years, I'm going to do that same exact equation, and I'm going to raise it to the 10th power. So 160,500 times 0.76 to the 10th. And that gives me a decimal number, but I can write everything up to the decimal and then a little bit after. Well, none after because it's a population. So I'm going to round it at the decimal, round it to a whole number. It's going to be 10318, 10,318. And those are people. That's why we cut it off. We have no decimals afterwards.